You felt it, that flash of emotion you couldn't contain. The moment someone says one sentence, and suddenly, they own your attention. You replay it later, wondering how they pulled you into their chaos so easily. It's not weakness. It's design. You were trained to react, to defend, explain, justify. And every time you do, you hand over power. Because in a world built on noise, the one who stays calm becomes dangerous. 5 centuries ago, Niccolò Machiavelli studied this exact game, not as a philosopher, but as an insider among rulers. He understood that control isn't about strength or morality, it's about mastering emotion before it masters you. He wrote, "The wise man does at once what the fool does at last." Meaning, those who think before they feel rule those who feel before they think. In this video, you'll learn how to develop that power, the kind that makes you unreadable in chaos, the kind that silences a room without a word. You'll learn to stop giving people emotional access, to turn composure into strategy, and to make calmness your most intimidating presence. Because once you master your inner state, nobody can use it against you. And that mastery begins with one shift, the ability to stay centered when the world loses control. The weak wait for peace to arrive, the powerful create it. Chaos isn't a warning. It's a proving ground. The first lesson is simple, but brutal. Number 1, rule the storm within. The weak wait for peace to arrive. The powerful build it from within, even as everything around them burns. Chaos isn't a reason to panic, it's a test for those who can stay still while others collapse. When the world screams, you whisper. When everyone rushes, you move like water, precise, unshaken, deliberate. That's how composure becomes dominance. Anyone can stay calm when life is gentle. But only the rarest minds hold their ground when everything falls apart. Machiavelli once said, "He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command." But command begins with the self. If you can't lead your own impulses, you'll never lead anyone else. Every challenge is a war between instinct and intelligence. Chaos is not your enemy, it's your examination. It asks who's in control, your emotions or your reason. Most people crumble because they believe peace is external, a quiet place, a break from problems, a softer world. But the Machiavellian mind knows peace is internal, built in fire, forged in moments when others lose their grip. It's not about escaping the storm. It's about becoming the calm inside it. When others argue, you observe. When they fight to be heard, you conserve energy. Your silence reflects their instability. When you stop reacting to noise, the noise loses power. Feel the chaos, but don't absorb it. Let it move around you, not through you. Life will throw betrayal, confusion, and pain your way, not to destroy you, but to measure your center. Breathe through the fire. Let it pass without consuming you. Because once you realize peace isn't found, it's built, you stop waiting for the world to settle. You become the stillness itself. Chaos only destroys the man who fights it. The wise don't resist storms, they outlast them. That's why panicked people are so easy to control, they expose their thoughts, their fears, their weaknesses. But a calm mind is unreadable, unstoppable. Stillness is armor. Calmness isn't indifference, it's command. When you can smile surrounded by noise, you've reached a strength no one can imitate. So stop running from difficult moments. Face them until fear grows bored of chasing you. Because peace isn't comfort, it's control. And when you can hold that peace while the world burns, you've already won. Number 2, the power of invisible force. Silence is an emptiness. It's energy waiting for direction. The loud speak to prove their worth. The strong stay quiet to preserve it. True strength doesn't need attention, it moves unseen, observing, calculating, waiting for the right moment to strike. When you understand the value of silence, you stop wasting energy on words that change nothing. Every time you explain or defend yourself, you trade power for validation. Machiavelli once wrote, "The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must be both." Silence is the bridge between them. It teaches when to wait, when to speak, and when to disappear entirely. The modern world is addicted to noise. People expose their plans, their doubts, their emotions, not realizing that every word weakens them. But mystery commands power. The less you reveal, the more others imagine. The more they imagine, the more they fear. Because the unknown is always stronger than the explained. A man who says nothing forces others to guess, and their guessing becomes their prison. While they waste energy trying to read you, you stay in control. That's the essence of psychological warfare. Make others reveal themselves while you remain unreadable. Silence trains discipline. When you resist the urge to react, you sharpen patience. And patience breaks those who rush. Each moment of stillness builds invisible power. In silence, you hear what others miss: tone, intent, weakness. You start seeing through people instead of around them. Most talk to fill the void. The Machiavellian mind uses the void as a mirror. The longer they speak, the more they expose. Let them talk. You listen, store, and move when the time is right. That's strength, not loud, but decisive. Understand this: their discomfort with your silence is proof of your power. Let quiet do what words never could. Because a calm mind is a dangerous weapon. It sees everything, forgets nothing, and waits without emotion. That's where true strength is born, in silence so deep, even chaos can't reach it. Number 3, detach from approval. The moment you start chasing validation, you surrender your power. Approval is the sweetest leash ever invented. It feels like praise, but it's control. The more you need it, the easier it is to own you. Most people don't live their lives, they perform them. Every word, every outfit, every dream is shaped by what others might think. But when you exist for their applause, you stop existing for yourself. Machiavelli wrote, "Men are driven by two principal impulses, by love or by fear. The masses chase love because it feels safe. The powerful understand fear, because fear commands obedience. The need for approval makes you predictable, and predictability kills leverage. Each time you mold yourself to please others, you trade authenticity for acceptance, and every trade like that weakens you. Power begins the moment you stop asking for permission to be who you are. Approval is an illusion. People respect those who move without needing it. When you act with clarity and conviction, you draw others in, because certainty without validation is magnetic. Humans are wired to follow what they cannot influence. The man who doesn't need to be liked becomes the one everyone tries to impress. That's the paradox of power. Stop chasing approval, and it starts chasing you. To master this, you must detach. Detach from praise. Detach from criticism. Detach from visibility itself. The Machiavellian mind knows that being liked fades fast, but being respected endures. Respect is born in the space where you say no, calmly, without explanation. When disapproval no longer scares you, manipulation loses its grip. People will test you by withholding validation, by questioning your judgment, by trying to make you doubt your path. Most crumble under silence, mistaking indifference for rejection. But the wise recognize rejection as redirection, a pushback toward authority. Once you stop chasing acceptance, you start attracting it. You become magnetic not because you demand attention, but because you no longer need it. Mystery breeds attraction. Detachment radiates command. From that moment, everything shifts: how you speak, how you lead, how the world treats you. Because when you no longer ask to be seen, you become impossible to ignore. Your independence becomes your throne. So stop performing. Stop explaining. Let others chase your approval instead. Power isn't granted, it's claimed by those who no longer ask for it. Number 4. The discipline of composure. Confidence can be performed. Composure can't. Anyone can pretend to be fearless when nothing's at stake. But when real pressure arrives, confidence trembles, composure doesn't. It's the quiet authority that fills a room without a word. When you walk with composure, you never have to prove your worth. Your presence does the talking. Machiavelli wrote, "It is better to appear merciful, faithful, humane, religious, and upright, but to change as fortune demands." That's composure, the ability to stay balanced while everything shifts, to adjust without losing control. The world loves confidence because it's loud. But it fears composure because it can't be shaken. A confident man seeks attention, a composed man draws it naturally. When others argue, he listens. When they hurry, he slows down. When they provoke, he remains still. That calmness disturbs them, because stillness feels like power, and he is both. He doesn't respond to every challenge, because reaction is surrender. The composed man studies the battlefield while others waste themselves fighting. His calm becomes a sharper weapon than aggression. True composure is forged through discomfort, in moments that tempt your ego, test your patience, and demand restraint. Each second you resist the pull to react, you build an empire within. History's strongest men were not loud, they were immovable. They understood that steady control under pressure is more terrifying than rage. When your voice stays level and your eyes stay firm while others unravel, you dominate without saying a word. That's leadership, command through stillness. Composure is also the death of manipulation. No one can twist your emotions if they can't read them. No one can steer your decisions if they can't predict your next move. That's why calmness is not weakness, it's the highest form of defense. It's awareness disguised as patience. When you master composure, you stop acting from impulse and start acting with precision. Every gesture becomes deliberate, every word intentional. That's when you rise above noise. Confidence burns fast, composure endures. Because the man who stays centered when everything shakes controls both respect and fear, and that's real power. Never let chaos decide your tone. Never let noise move your mind. Once you own composure, you don't just control yourself, you control the room. Number 5. Rule what you feel. You're not meant to kill emotion, you're meant to command it. The strongest men feel everything: pain, betrayal, frustration, desire, but they never hand those feelings to the world. They transform emotion into awareness. Every feeling becomes a calculation. Every scar becomes a lesson. Because once you reveal emotion to the wrong eyes, you give them a map straight to your mind. Machiavelli wrote, "Never attempt to win by force what can be won by deception." The same applies to emotion. You don't win by showing what you feel, you win by mastering it. Weak men believe expression equals strength. They think honesty means exposure. But the truth is, the world doesn't reward emotional transparency, it weaponizes it. The more people know what moves you, the easier it is to control you. The moment someone discovers what provokes you, what scares you, what tempts you, they own you. The Machiavellian mind understands that emotion is a signal, not an order. You can feel everything without reacting to anything, that's real emotional intelligence. It's the discipline of letting the fire move through you without letting it burn you. When anger rises, analyze it. When sadness comes, observe it. When fear whispers, study it. Emotion loses its hold the moment you stop performing for it. That's what separates the powerful from the powerless. The powerful use emotion as strategy, not identity. They don't suppress their pain, they refine it until it becomes precision. Expression isn't strength, control is. Silence confuses manipulators. Indifference kills arrogance. And composure breaks those desperate to see you fall. Your calm under pressure drives people insane because it exposes their dependence on reaction. When they expect an outburst and get stillness instead, they begin to doubt their own dominance. That's psychological control. But the goal isn't to feel nothing, it's to feel deeply and still remain unmoved. Every emotion you master becomes a foundation stone of your power. Most men run from feelings because they're afraid of being consumed by them. You'll stand still as they rage within, knowing storms pass, but discipline stays. Because the man who can face emotion without letting it own him becomes untouchable. The world will test you, with loss, temptation, betrayal, to see if you'll break. But you won't. You'll feel everything, reveal nothing, and let others wonder what hides behind your calm eyes. That isn't suppression. That's self-command, the rarest form of power. Number 6, the power of strategic silence. Real authority begins the moment you stop explaining yourself. Every justification weakens your position. Every attempt to make people understand you reveals uncertainty, and uncertainty invites control. Explanation is nothing but apology wearing logic as disguise. Machiavelli wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." Fear isn't born from words, it's born from mystery. When people can't fully read your motives, they approach you with respect and caution. But when you explain every move, you become transparent, and transparency kills influence. The Machiavellian mind knows that silence builds hierarchy. The less you speak, the more weight your words carry. The fewer reasons you give, the more impact your actions hold. The powerful never waste energy proving themselves, they let outcomes do the talking. Every explanation opens a debate, and debate is a trap. It drags you into emotional terrain where power dissolves. The wise don't step into that arena. They act, they decide, and they move forward, untouched. The strong understand their decisions don't require approval, and their silence after judgment unsettles those who expect justification. People don't want truth, they want comfort. And when you start explaining, you try to comfort them, which means you lower yourself to their level. But when you remain silent, you force others to live with uncertainty. And that uncertainty becomes your weapon. A calm man who doesn't explain himself appears dangerous. He becomes a question no one can answer. They wonder what he knows, what he plans, what he's capable of, and that psychological tension gives him control. The moment you stop explaining, you move from defense to dominance. You stop trying to be understood, and start being respected. In a world addicted to validation, silence is rebellion. It unsettles the insecure because it reminds them that they have no claim over you. So stop announcing your intentions. Stop revealing your reasoning. Stop narrating your progress. Let them speculate. Let them misinterpret. Power is built in shadows, not in conversations. You owe no one explanations for your choices, your distance, or your silence. Each time you resist the urge to explain, you reinforce independence. They'll call you cold, arrogant, mysterious, let them. Their confusion is proof that your mind is no longer accessible to them. Once they stop expecting explanations, you've already won. Because true power doesn't shout, it moves quietly. It acts without permission and succeeds without applause. The man who doesn't explain is unpredictable. And unpredictability is the rhythm of dominance. So never justify your intentions, execute them. Never reveal your plans, let results appear. Silence is the most eloquent answer you'll ever give. Now you understand what makes someone truly unbreakable. It isn't muscle, volume, or charm, it's control. The one who stays calm while everything collapses, who speaks only through action, who no longer explains, reacts, or chases, that's the one the world cannot defeat. Machiavelli wrote, "The promise given was a necessity of the past, the word broken is a necessity of the present." Meaning, the powerful move through reason, not emotion. They adapt. They evolve. They remain unshaken, no matter how often the world changes around them. You must become that man, calm, cold, and untouchable. The storms won't stop coming, but they'll stop moving you. People will still test you, but they'll never control you again. Because once your emotions belong solely to you, you've reached the highest form of power, self-mastery. From this moment, don't argue for your worth, demonstrate it in silence. Don't chase recognition, build what cannot be ignored. Power isn't declared, it's designed, piece by piece, in private. Those who truly command never shout. They observe. They calculate. They act when the noise has exhausted itself. That's where dominance begins, not in conquest, but in composure. And if you want to go deeper into that design, the structure of calm, control, and invisible authority, enter the playlist Machiavelli on Power as Design. Each chapter there is a blueprint for the mind that refuses to be ruled. Because power isn't about changing the world's storms. It's about mastering the one inside your own.